Welcome to GrovTalk. GrovTalk is an interview series on all things growth, personal development, leadership, and how to grow your business. Stay tuned to hear from business owners, entrepreneurs, and people who have a story to tell. So this whole series is called GrovTalk, and it's basically all things growth. It's from personal development to leadership to how to grow your business. And so you are my first guest.
Oh, wow.
And so here's the first Q&A. Actually, if you can you just, for context of the video, introduce yourself, your company, and kind of give like the background on kind of your career and all the different places you worked and what level?
So Jay Schmidt, Executive Vice President and General Manager, Silicon Forest Electronics in Vancouver, Washington. I started my electronics manufacturing career in 1980 and soldering circuit boards while I was going to college. So I do know how to solder, but progressed from an assembly position during college to working with a company called OECO back in 1984. And I walked into OECO and I said, I want to be a production supervisor. And it was fortuitous. They said, well, that's great because we need some upwardly mobile, promotable type people. And so we've got a job for you. So my first assignment was supervising a department of 30 people, of which I was the youngest.
Wow.
So that was a real challenge and a real eye-opener for a 24-year-old.
Real quick, what made you want to become a supervisor?
When I was at Tektronix soldering circuit boards, I just remember that the supervisors were the leaders of the departments. And I thought, well, eventually I'd like to get into a leadership position. And what I thought was a supervisor and what I learned was supervisor were two different things.
Hashtag no regrets.
No regrets. No regrets.
So 1980, you said you started your career?
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of tech changes in that time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you were probably building stuff for like the phone, dial-up phone in the cars?
Well, the circuit board assemblies that we worked on, we used to have to bend each of the parts. We had the leads on them, and we had to bend the parts with a little fixture by hand and stick them in one at a time into the circuit board on a piece of steel, and then solder them in one at a time. And I did that all night long.
Yeah.
You advance to today where you've got pick and place equipment that they're running at 5 and 10,000 pieces per hour kind of a thing, just high speed, and replace that older technology. Although we still get orders for that older, typically on the military side of the business, those older products that still need that older technology.
Are components easy to find for those? The older components?
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. Yeah.
You're calling around to museums?
Yeah.
Are you thinking everything will go back to normal? Or are you thinking after the pandemic, it's kind of changing the way we do business? How are you guys thinking?
Well, it's as you know, with any change, whether it's positive or negative, there is some benefit that comes out of it. And I think that just the fact that we're having this discussion right now, people are learning how to do business not in person. I'm not saying that. I still believe that the in-person face-to-face is the way to go. Mm-hmm. But there are times when this will work, and so it's given us more tools in the toolbox. I think people will be more skeptical and more doubtful, and it'll be interesting to see how the medical world anticipates the next big thing like this.
Yeah. What do you think like your big motivators are? Like what's your big
seeing other people become successful. When you go through, you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
I'm not familiar with it. No.
If you take a look at Maslow's, called MASLOW, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's a pyramid. Yeah. And a lot of people think that money is at the top of the pyramid, and what Maslow ended up saying was self-actualization is really the number one thing. Is that who you are and what you want to be and why you're doing it. And money and income and having nice house and cars may be a part of all that, but it isn't. They say it's not. That's the end. That's not the means. And so making a positive and profound impact, which is actually our tagline here at Silicon Forest, doing that and seeing the results of that is really what is the motivator.
Yeah.
The great philosopher Gene Simmons of KISS once said, "Any day above ground is a good day." And so when you have that attitude, and so just living for each day, and then what I typically do is, I draw a line in both directions, and I make up my grid, kind of a Stephen Covey, put first things first mentality. But also beginning with the end in mind of looking for what are those things that I have to keep in my wheelhouse, but might not be a today thing. So just really kind of the balancing act of those two things. And then, like I said, it's not about just coming to work. It's also about the relationships at work and the relationships in the family, and using the what I do here at Silicon Forest as a foundation for that.
Yeah, I've been saying impact over money, impact over money.
Yeah,
impact over wealth. That is huge. So last question, and then we can wrap up here. What advice would you give someone who is early on in their career?
Back to my Stephen Covey and Covey training. Seek first to understand, and seek first to understand from a wide variety of perspectives. I was fortunate enough to have some mentors that were probably my age now or older, that would spend time with me and show me things. I also had so folks on the business side, folks on the technical side, but really a nice a mix. Get a perspective and mix, and seek first to understand versus exerting one's identity first.
I love it. Well, appreciate you being here today.
All right.
You killed it, man. Thank you for tuning in to the first ever GrovTalk episode. If you want to jump into a conversation with me and be featured on one of these interviews, just reach out to me at tylerg@grovetech.com. GrovTech is spelled GROVTEC.com. If you have any questions or takeaways, you can leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.